Hey everybody, welcome to the Mile High Game Guys review, Fuse and Fuse Flatline. I'm your host Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're going to review games on this episode.
Yes.
Games, multiple, plural.
Plural.
Two games.
They take place in the Zach made-up word, Fusiverse.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like Fusiverse.
Yes.
I like Fusiverse as well. We will license that to you.
Two Renegade.
Renegade.
Renegade, Clanko. If you would like to use Fusiverse, our licensing fees are very reasonable.
Yeah.
Very.
You can just go into Patreon, and then there'll be a licensing fee option.
We'll add a licensing fee option.
But yeah, so let's dive right into these reviews. What do you guys say?
Sure.
Yeah, cool. All right, so we'll start off with Fuse. Fuse is a 2015 game from designer Kane Klenko, published by Portal Games and Renegade Game Studios. It plays 1 to 5 players, takes about 10 minutes. Zach, got a rules rundown for us?
Yeah. So in Fuse, a madman has placed bombs set to go off in 10 minutes unless your team can disarm them. These bombs require very specific things to disarm them. Maybe it's a green die matched with a 2 or a descending amount of different numbers. But you'll be rolling dice to get these options. You'll be rolling 1 die per team member. But each member must take a die or risk setting others back in their defusal. If you're able to defuse all the bombs within 10 minutes, you win. Otherwise, ...
I mean, does that mean you explode?
The timing on the dot was interesting.
Yes. It's a dramatic
Was it dramatic ellipses?
pause.
All right, so thoughts going into Fuse.
So I had played, what is it called? Escape? Curse of the Temple?
Yes.
That was the first real-time cooperative dice rolling game that I'd ever played.
Okay.
And it also, I think it's also about 10 minutes as well or something similar to that.
Yeah.
And I remember how frantic that game was when trying to do that, especially trying to be the clock. So I had heard that they had come out with a new one that was based around defusing bombs. And it was cooperative and all that stuff. And so I was like, ooh, I will check this out. I liked like the little pieces I'd seen of it before. I was like, ooh, I like the theme that they're sort of going with and the style that the components have and all that stuff. So I was like, I will check this out.
Cool. Hefe?
I think the first time I saw it was at game night, and I was just introduced as a 10-minute game that you defuse bombs with dice.
Yep.
Dexterity game.
That's basically about what I remember. It's been, a while since I first played this game, so I don't remember exactly what my thoughts were going into it. Plus, I mean, that was well before the podcast, so I wasn't critically thinking about games back then. I was just like, yeah, I'll throw some dice while I drink a beer. Sure. 10 minutes, you say? I'll play anything for 10 minutes.
But now you won't.
Now you won't, yeah.
I'll still play on anything for 10 minutes.
All right. We need to find something that he'll be within 10 minutes. He's just like, no, fuck it.
Munchkin the dice game.
If it only takes 10 minutes, I might be able to power through.
It's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, so components are pretty simple for this one. There's a bunch of dice. They go in a bag.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of cards.
I like that the dice, how they have their numbers is sort of like, that alarm clock style. The
Digital
timer.
clock.
Yeah, digital clock style.
It makes it so there's not really any ambiguity about what's what.
Yes, that is. It's really functional, but I think it also works towards it because you're trying to defuse bombs. And
Yeah,
stuff
like the
that.
countdown timer clock kind of look. I like that the 5 colors they use. 6 colors? 5 colors.
5.
They went with very distinct colors. I mean, obviously none of us have any kind of color blindness issues, so I don't know if any of the colors get close with something like that.
It's usually red and blue, red and green.
Red and green, I know is one. There's a bunch of different types of color blindness, though. So I don't know if any of these have issues in that regard. For us, though, they're very different colors. That makes it easy to stand out. The iconography on the cards, I think, is pretty straightforward.
For the most part.
For the most part, there's still 1 or 2 that it's a little.
Yeah. The cards themselves are
they're cards. Yeah, they're
cards.
fun. But they show everything, all the information. So there's a couple different ways to there's sometimes where you have to stack the dice in certain ways on the card, and I've seen a couple of people not know how to do it just based off of the card. You have to be like, oh, well, you do it like this and this and this. So
yeah,
There's a certain amount of white spaces, and you have to build a pyramid and stuff like that.
right.
Should we mention the app under components?
Oh no.
I guess you could include that in components.
So Renegade has a free app, and they've started adding it for a bunch of their games like Clank and Flatline, and
it even adds more like content for Clank.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this one it's just a timer, but it's full screen and it, reminiscent of the art, but then also there's an option of just a timer, and then there's also like a personality timer where it's just like it starts making fun of you.
Which
Yeah.
you should definitely play with the personality timer. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I like that, like their timer, like it does like a very consistent like countdown. Like you can hear a sound like tung, tung, tung between it's like talking shit. And then when it gets low on time, it like lets you know, like it does like a little alarm sound like, hey, you're running out of time.
Yeah.
Which is nice because like sometimes like especially if you're using a sand timer, you get carried away playing and nobody's watching the timer, and then you look up, it's like, oh, it's empty. Wait, how long has it been empty for?
Yeah.
This makes it very clear, like, hey, you're running out of time. Hurry up with what you're doing.
Yeah. Otherwise, you just have to, if you don't use this, use just a timer on your phone or something like that, which like is the same sort of problem with the because it'll let you know when it's off, but it's not gonna be like you have 1 minute left or anything like that. So the app really helps, and it's like I said, it's free. So
It's thematic to the game.
yes,
And it works for a bunch of other Renegade stuff if you have other Renegade games. So there's not really much artwork wise in this game. Like the cards are just symbols.
Sort of blue and black and circuit board-esque looking.
Yeah. They're the cards for the dice that you have to pull out, but it's just like a die flying through space.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hyperspace die.
Yep. And the bag's nice. It comes with its own bag that is good for grabbing those dice. It's big enough that you don't feel like confined. Because I've some bag where you have to grab stuff. It's like, ooh, this is actually a little tight. This one has more than enough room.
Especially since it's critical to the actual gameplay.
Yes,
that
it
you
is.
Grab the correct amount of dice.
Yes.
So rules and rules explanation. This game, it's pretty easy to explain. You've got 10 minutes and you're trying to solve all these cards.
Yeah. So if you're playing with 3 people, you take 3 dice, you roll them, and then everybody has to take a die. And so that's where like the real time aspect of people are like, okay, I need a green 1 or anything yellow or stuff like that. And people are like, oh, well, I can use this and this and this. So you don't want a lot of rules.
No.
Like when you have stuff like this, you want it to be very bare bones in that respect. And I think that it does it well, and it does it really well.
I would agree. I think the other kind of nice thing with this that goes hand in hand with that is the cards are like you said, like for the most part, you're going to know, like it might be tricky to understand like how you're going to place things on the card, but you know what you're looking for. So it's easy to be like, I need a green 2.
Yeah.
I need any blue, And so like when you teach new people, you can really easily pull out just a couple of cards to demonstrate what some of the symbols are. And then with that, they should be able to figure out any of the cards on the deck.
Pretty much. And then also they have a difficulty rating on them. Anywhere from 1 to 6, because fuck you. Those 6 ones are fucked up.
Yeah.
But so you can always be like, if someone is like, they finish a card and they're going for another one, you'd be like, ooh, you should grab you want to grab the easier ones and then eventually go to the harder ones when that's all that's left.
Yeah.
Because they don't go away.
No, they do not.
And the nice thing about this game, it takes exactly 10 minutes. So you don't need to like really make sure somebody super understands the game before you play. You can be like, hey, I'm going to give you a really brief overview enough that you can play the game, and then we're going to play it. And then I'll answer any questions you have in 10 minutes when we're done playing the first round. And like that's nice. Like you can't pull that off with like a longer game.
No.
Where you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna play this 2-hour game, and then at the end, I'll answer any questions you have, and we'll play again. Like, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah, because usually you'll play this 2 to 3 times. It seems like assuming that you like it. So yeah.
It's also really nice for like our game nights, like because it's really conducive to being able to like play a 10-minute game, and then the couple people who want to keep playing can keep playing.
Yes.
And grab a couple new people, and anybody who's done, they can get up and walk away.
And anyone that's played it before, there's a lot of variable difficulty levels. Some are ridiculous.
Yes.
But
yeah, no, you're not wrong, because the way to win in normal difficulties, you just get like there's a pile of like 20 cards you have to get through, but everyone can still have bombs to disarm as long as that center pile is empty. But like super expert is like not only is it like 29 cards, but then you have to get rid of all the cards on everybody as well. So that I don't even understand how it's possible unless it's a bunch of goddamn robots that are fucking
dice rolling robots.
Yep.
Yes. Dice rolling robots are the future.
I'd like to see robots play this game.
I would too.
I could see robots like kicking our ass at this game.
Yeah.
Like I've seen like some of like the assembly line robots that like sort like colored cubes or pills or whatever, and they do real good at that.
Have you seen on Reddit, they have a real life GIFs or something like that where they take things like that, but then people add like eyes to it and shit to make it look like it's, a creature or something like that?
No.
It's quite hilarious.
Okay.
Interesting.
Basically Wall-E.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our rules discussion kind of basically covered a lot of the gameplay stuff. Like,
Well, because the rules are pretty simple. So
Yeah.
it's just...
there's not a lot to this game. I think that the gameplay like ends up being fun because of that. Like it's frantic.
Yeah.
So you're engaged the whole time. It's also only 10 minutes, so it's not hard to keep somebody's attention for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Especially because your attention is required at all times.
Yes. It's this is one of those cooperative games that you can't really have a quarterback because it's in real time, so everybody has to be like, they have to be, like you said, they have to be
Working
paying
on their
attention and
stuff.
working on their own shit.
And share.
Yes.
It's like, all I can do is take a red 6. Please, God, someone give me a red 6.
Yeah.
It's red 6. It's fucking mine.
Yep. So yeah, the speaking to that, when you can't grab a die, for whatever reason, that it's really frustrating because then whatever die you couldn't grab, you roll it, and then if it's that color or that number, everybody on the table has to get rid
That's
of
like, all right.
one of those.
A yellow or a 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lose it.
Yeah, and so like there's times when it's like, Jeff picks up a yellow, and then I'm like, the only thing's left is the yellow, and I'm like, I can't take that at all. Jeff immediately loses that yellow he played more or less because,
Unless I completed something.
unless you completed something, yes. But there's been a lot of times where I've seen somebody just be like, all right, I got to die, and I just lost it again. Okay, I got to No, I just lost it at one, but you just have this one bomb that just won't diffuse.
You just keep pushing all the wrong fucking buttons.
Yeah.
Just keeps getting reset. And so you can have that sometimes with the chaining of those cards that we were talking about earlier for removing the space dice ones. I've had it where like 3 of those come out at once because when you're refilling the bomb deck or the bomb tableau, yeah,
The center area with
yes.
all the bombs in it.
Yes, there you go. If one of those cards come out, if it's a green one, everybody loses a green die. And so I've just seen it where it says like everyone loses a 6 and then a 5, and you're like, son of a bitch.
I want to say those are actually just called fuse cards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the name of those type of cards.
Okay.
But
They're
yeah,
the same
as
background, so I
they
don't-
come
yeah.
out into the play area, they make you get rid of certain die if you have them.
Just a 5.
Yeah, and it can
yellow.
be super frustrating if it's like, because there are some, like obviously there's some where it's just like any number and then you just match the same number. But like sometimes it'll be like, you need a blue 2 for this one.
Yes.
And then you get that blue 2 and then someone's like, oh, I had this blue die that I can't use.
No,
And you're like,
you cocksucker.
Yes.
Some of them can get a little frustrating. Like some of the ones that are like, you clearly need to go like, you need 4 die, and it needs like every next die needs to be less than the first die.
Yeah.
And so there's ways that you can totally not diffuse anything, right?
I mean, if you grab the wrong die.
It's like, I need a 1. All right, I need something less than a 1.
Yep.
Well, you can't.
Nope, so
I
that's-
don't even know what you do with that.
You would just, like basically if you can't complete, you would just wipe those die out.
Okay.
And-
So you clear the entire card.
yeah.
Gotcha. Reset the card.
Which
Yeah.
It's never
can
come
suck.
up, but it's
No,
just
it's
something
never.
I've thought
Yeah.
about.
It's,
Oh, I think I've seen it come up. Especially with some of the mathy ones. Some
Oh,
people
yeah.
don't do math well on the fly.
yeah.
1 die of any number minus another die of any number equals 2.
Oh yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so you're like, oh, because those are great because then you're originally like, oh, I can take anything. And you're like, okay, well, here's a 6, and now you're like, I need a 4. That's all I can take.
Yep.
Give me that fucking 4.
That's it.
Yep. So yeah, gameplay's frantic and crazy. It's fun at a brewery. Like everybody's kind of drinking and like the brewery
Yelling.
game nights are like loud
Yeah.
fun. So like having a table playing Fuse and everybody yelling what die they need. Like it's another one that like kind of gets people's attention and like it's a cool presence.
It is a great gateway
I
game.
don't know if I'd use it as a gateway game because I don't feel like it really leads on to other types of games. Like so it's not.
I
like,
would say that it leads to a specific type of game
maybe.
that we talk.
Yeah. Well. This isn't a game like if somebody's like, oh, I've never played board games. I'm not going to be like, oh, let's play Fuse for your first board game.
Why not?
Fuse is plenty, like, I'm sure they've rolled dice before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't feel like it's going to.
Have you
lead
matched
them.
colors and
I don't
numbers
feel, Yeah,
before?
but I'm not saying it's not something that somebody who's never played a board game could play. Like, yes, you're absolutely right. Most people have rolled dice and matched colors. It's an advanced version of Farkle. Like that's being a little facetious. But it's not a game that I think is like where somebody's going to play this and be like, oh man, like I really want to play other board games now.
Why not?
I don't know. There's so many different styles. Someone's got to get introduced to their first dexterity game sometime.
Yeah.
And this is a great introduction to dexterity games.
Maybe.
'Kay.
I disagree.
Here's like, you're new to board games? I've got a game for you. Paul, come over here. Food chain magnate.
Just break them in early, man. Just get them right in there. Get it going.
Get those tears out early.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're going to want the cart boy first, just so you know.
one of my first board games, like probably one of my first 5 board games that I played was Agricola. Freaking Misery Farm itself. And that worked great for me.
No, you
Like,
definitely don't have to. You don't have. Yeah, you don't have to. It's not like you can only play gateway ones and then now you go to the step. Then you can do the heavy ones. You can introduce people.
Yeah, it's not some shitty RPG with a 1-track progression.
I don't know what
2
that's
tracks.
referencing.
I'm not referencing anything in particular. Just saying there's multiple ways to get into the hobby.
Yes.
Anyway, that's a discussion for another
Yes.
day. So, final thoughts on Fuse. I think we've pretty much covered everything we can cover on this game.
I like it.
I also like it.
I
like it a
also
lot.
like it. I don't know if I like it a lot. I like it. I'll play it. It's fast enough that I don't mind the randomness of the dice chucking.
Yeah.
It's cooperative. I like the yelling and trying to coordinate and solve puzzles. I like solving puzzles, and these are kind of solving puzzles.
I mean, there's no kind of about it.
I mean, they're really basic puzzles.
That doesn't mean they're not puzzles.
fair enough.
Accurate.
So yeah, I like it. I'll play it.
No, yeah, it's definitely like great at the beginning of a game night or something when you're waiting for people because it's so short.
Yeah, you're not gonna like start a game and then have somebody show up and be like, "Oh, well, we'll be done in an hour." It's like, no, we'll be done in like 8 minutes. So just hang out, go get a beer, and by the time you come back, we'll be done.
And I've had people,
that took me seconds.
Yeah, I've had people actually watch us play, and then they're like, "Oh shit, I want to try that." When you guys are done, and then someone just easily steps out, and someone else comes right back in.
Yep.
So I haven't played it at 2 players because I think that you add 2 dice, 2 per person, but otherwise.
We also didn't mention you have to choose the correct amount of dice when you roll.
Oh yes, yeah.
Based on player count.
So if you grab, say there are 4 people playing, you accidentally grab 3, you can roll that and then grab another one. But if you're like playing with 4 players, you accidentally grab 5. You can't be like, oh, I want to get rid of this one that
Dump
no
it
one cares.
all back in the bag.
And so every time somebody fucks it up, you're wasting precious seconds.
Yes.
That it's just
Precious seconds, Adrian.
Correct. Very precious.
The most precious.
my precious.
Like all the seconds it took to talk about that.
Yeah.
All very precious. So we all like this game, yeah?
Yes.
Yarp.
Cool. If you're interested in it, it is pretty widely available online from most major board game retailers, and it will run you anywhere from $20 to $25, roughly.
Is that a guess or is that what you're
No,
reading?
I'm looking at it. I mean, like, so there's Noble Night Games has it listed at 14, but I don't know, like, if they charge shipping and stuff. Whereas, like,
$19.99 shipping.
Amazon has it $23.49.
There we go.
Time Well Spent Games. If you're here in Denver, you can get local pickup for them for free. They've got it at $22.50. So right in that $20 to $25 range.
I should own Fuse.
Well, there you go.
You should.
Buy it.
Buy it now.
So moving on to the next game in the Fusiverse. This is Flatline, a Fuse Aftershock game, which was released in 2017, aka it's brand new. Designer, King Clanko. Publisher, Renegade Game Studios. Plays 1 to 5 players. Takes 25 to 45 minutes. Zach, what is the rules breakdown for this?
Okay. Boom! The bombs have blown up and now there are people to save. Flatline has you trying to save these innocent bystanders before their time is up. Each round you'll be rolling dice in an attempt to cure different stages of these patients. There will also be stat cards that must be taken care of or you risk the lives of everyone in your care. And emergency cards that will threaten to slow down any progress you have made if luck is not on your side. If you're able to clear some of these on your turn, you may be granted boons to help in your attempt to save the day. If all the patients have been treated before the end of the last round, you win. Otherwise, dot.
Zach and his dots.
That was 4 dots. That's more than ellipses.
I know. It's because I wrote 4 dots for whatever reason. Also, it's the beginning of the end of the last round. Never mind. Yeah, go.
Right on.
Yes.
So, thoughts going into this game?
Fuse, yes.
You guys played it at Geekway?
Geekway, yes.
Okay,
We
that's where
all
it
bought
released.
the last copy that was available because it released at Geekway.
Yeah.
And got snatched up.
I heard that it was basically a gamier version of Fuse, and I was sold. So
And I heard you guys talking about it while playing at Geekway, and it was a Game Year version of Fuse and sold.
Yes.
Correct. So, components.
There's a lot more of them in this game.
Or I guess actually I should talk about what I was thinking going into it.
Yeah. Instead of just saying, sure, and then look at the phone. That's what Adrian did.
What happened? So going into this, yes, I'm basically going to sound like a broken record. Heard it was a Game Year version of Fuse, which appealed to me. I liked Fuse. I liked the dice, the cooperative like dice chucking. This one, like saving patience and like some of the mechanics that I'd heard about in it seemed kind of cool. So yeah, I was down for it. I thought it seemed cool. I was looking forward to playing it.
Also, I don't remember exactly where I saw this, but I actually looked afterwards when I got the game, and I couldn't find anything concrete. But how I view this game is, in Fuse, you didn't defuse the bombs, and so they blew up, and now you're trying to save those patients. So,
Correct.
yeah.
I look at it as like, so the base game of Fuse, like you can win, quote unquote, even if there's bombs in front of people, as long as you clear the center. So you've cleared the center. You've cleared enough that the whole station wasn't destroyed, but the ones that were in front of you still blew up. So there's still some damage.
Everybody, like, they did the main ones, and they're like, all right, we're done. Pack it all up. And
Yeah.
people are like, there's still bombs, right?
So what you're
There's
saying
a bomb
is-
right there. And they're like, no, we already got 20. We're good.
So what you're saying is everyone defusing the bombs died.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, in this one, you're saving the lives of the people who were defusing bombs in the
Yep.
previous game.
Yeah.
So you could be saving your own life if you play them consecutively.
Indeed.
Anyhow, components. There's a lot more components to
Yes,
this.
there
Oh,
are.
yes.
There's a whole board. There's multiple like little sideboard, like not sideboards, like they go on the main board.
Yeah, it's the patient, like,
Pods.
patient pods.
Just more like your deck from Fuse, I
Yes,
guess.
yeah, basically, because that's how you determine the difficulty level too.
Yes.
And there's a bunch of different ones on there, and there's a lot of them. That the game was a lot heavier than I thought it'd be, just because of how much cardboard there was in there. But
Yeah.
also that insert is trash, because after you pop everything out, you can't really put the game back in with the insert still in there.
Bad insert.
Yeah, but you just get rid of it and it's fine.
Okay. Aftermarket insert, go.
Wow, you don't even need to do that.
Yeah.
The dice on this one have custom sides.
Yep.
So
Lot of
they're not
fancy
just
symbols.
numbers. I think that's one of the like most interesting changes, which we'll talk a little bit more during like rules and gameplay and stuff, is like there's symbols that you're matching now instead of just matching numbers.
Yeah. 6 different colors, and then the color of the die is the player color.
Yes. So it's no longer like a shared pool.
Yeah.
In that respect, like Fuse was, it's everybody has their own individual dice that you can add to or subtract from depending on the cards you get. But yeah, it's you're rolling your own dice instead of rolling a pool and then everyone grabs from there.
Correct. So yeah, so you should be able to place multiple die on every turn.
Yes.
Which is nice. Like, and the way this game plays, like you need to be placing a lot more dice than you do in Fuse.
Yes.
Lots more cards. I mean, I guess there was a lot of cards in Fuse, but this a lot different types of cards.
Yes.
There's I don't know the names of any of these cards.
Stat cards.
Those ones, those ones.
Emergency cards, stat cards, and then triage, which are also these cards, but like
They move,
Done.
They move
Done.
over.
Yeah.
And then if you don't do the triage,
yeah, they go there.
that's your like lose pile.
Yes.
Yep.
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 They get fucked.
There's a lot more accoutrement to
Yes.
this game.
Yeah.
Correct. But it's all good quality.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well defined.
The dice are good. They're actually etched, and then the painting is like in the etchings, like the symbols stand out very clearly.
The art's pretty on point.
Yep. The cardboard pieces for the pods and the little like arcs that close over when you finish a certain section of the pod are both good, decently thick cardboard that seems sturdy. I didn't notice any like warping or bending issues.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It is Colorado.
The cards are all good. You're not really like doing a whole lot with the cards. They don't need to be the greatest quality. Like you're
Just
not,
need to know what
Yeah.
stuff you have to jam
Yeah.
on the cards as fast as possible.
Yes. Correct.
Which they are very good at telling you.
Correct.
Yeah, and
So-
they use a couple different symbols that you have to. We're doing components right now, or
Components.
okay, right?
Yes.
That'll be later then.
I like the little green cubes they use for
Yes.
the timer as well.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yep. So that I think does pretty much cover components. So we can move on to rules and rules explanation. There's a lot more game to this game.
Yes, there
so
is.
there's more rules overhead than there is in Fuse. This one you pretty much need to explain a little bit about how the game works. you can't just throw somebody in and be like, hey, we're going to play a 25 to 45 minute game and then I'll answer your questions. That doesn't work anymore. So you kind of need to actually teach it beforehand.
Yeah. But then that also helps too because this does have a real time component in it, but it's only like a minute at a time. It's not.
And you get a break.
Yeah, you get a break. You sort of plan out all the shit you want to do, and then you do a minute of intense dice rolling
and placing.
Yep, and then you basically deal with the consequences, and then you go to planning the next stage and shit like that. So if a new person, you'd be like, you can teach them the stuff, but if they have questions, they can actually ask you them in the middle of the game. It doesn't have to wait till the end. So
right,
yeah.
I don't think there's too much that's difficult to teach in this game still. It's mostly like still just matching dice symbols to dice things.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of where like on the different tiers on the player, like or on the pods that you're rescuing, some are like, oh, everybody has to place one of this type of dice. This one takes like 2 people completing it, or this one like anybody can go nuts, like stuff like that. You don't really have much of that in regular Fuse, or anything like that at all in regular Fuse. So that's kind of a different take.
And that's the hardest thing it took me to learn is like the dude with one person on it was like anyone can do it, but the 2 means 2, and then the 3 means something else, and then
so it's the 1 is 1. Yeah, anybody can do it, but it's only them.
Yeah.
So if it has like 3 dice and they only have 2, then it doesn't get complete because anything that's halfway complete gets wiped out. And then there's also the 2 where it's exactly 2 people have to do it. So even if I have all 3 of the dice that I need, Jeff, you'd have to contribute at least 1.
Yeah.
And then there's a 3, which is any amount of people can do it.
Yeah.
And then there's the 4 where it's everybody has to do this.
Which is usually...
And they use different colors too. So not only they have different people in there too, but it's also like the 1 is just like a green, and then it goes to like yellow, and then orange, and then red is for everybody.
Yeah.
So it's easy to figure that out too.
That was the part that took the most explanation as the game went on.
Yeah. And then like having the different cards that come out that like these ones, like you roll the event die.
It's the emergency dice.
Emergency dice, and that'll tell you like which emergency cards are going to activate based on where they are in this like 1 through 6 to blow.
Which are most like the Fuse die from Fuse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then there's the triage cards where like you'll get some of those out every once in a while where it's like if you don't fix this, it's going to go to like the dead pile, and once you get a handful of those, you lose.
It's like 3.
Yeah.
But if you finish it, it moves over to like the good pile where like it's saved, and now you get a bonus action that you can take during a round.
Or an extra die for the next round. And
Free roll or something like that, yeah.
So just kind of explaining like to people like, and that comes into play during that planning phase you were talking about, Zach, where like you got to be like, all right, well, we really should try and like focus on this one. We can probably let this one slide. This one's not going to be a problem at all. But, oh, wait, holy shit, I didn't even see this one. That's going to wreck us if we don't take care of it.
And I would say the hardest part about those cards is remembering what bonuses you have, and like, oh, everyone gets 1 free reroll on like one of their die, and it's like, well, who used the reroll? Oh God, someone please.
That sort of
keeping track of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that sort of needs to be on the honor system a little bit, just because it's the time you're actually using it is so small that you can't pay attention.
You have 60 seconds, and everyone needs to remember your bonuses.
Yeah. But yeah, at the start of each round, when you draw, like the round timer has a number that indicates how many cards you draw, and so the cards can randomly be the triage ones that you're talking about, or the emergency ones. So your plan before that round starts could be like, okay, there's 4 emergency dice on there, and there's this patient. He's almost done. We should try and work on that next for the next round. But then you get dealt, and they're all 4 triage ones, and like the emergencies get activated. And so there's a lot of like your plan is to try and do this, but there is a lot of times where you're just like, fuck, we have to focus on this right now.
Right.
So it's not like in Fuse, it was always just try.
Go.
Yeah, just go, and you're just doing your thing. This one has there's a lot more balls in the air.
Yes.
I was trying to focus because you don't want to lose.
Yeah. There's also the little spinner thingy in the middle.
Yeah.
That's which pods you really need to focus on. Because
'Cause,
there's little bonuses if you complete them.
But there's also negatives too.
Yes.
So
And you don't want to complete the wrong one at the wrong time.
Yeah, so when you complete a pod, whichever one of it's like 4 potential spaces on the bottom, whichever one has a thing lined up to it at the time, is whether you're going to get like nothing, a bonus, or a detriment.
So there'll be times when you're just like, well, this one we could finish now, but it would give us something bad. So we're going to just let it, focus on other things.
Gonna let that one float for a while.
Yeah, pretty much. It's fine. You'll just wait till
He's not dead
He's
yet.
not dead yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in a pod.
He's happy. Monty Python.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that pretty much, I think, wraps up rules and rules explanation and kind of starts already again flowing into gameplay. Both these games, those kind of really merge more than in some other games.
It's a lot of show, not tell in this game. Because there's a lot to show.
Yeah. I will say that for gameplay wise, so Fuse is great in that there's very little room to alpha game. Whereas I noticed in some of our plays of this at Geekway, we got a lot more into all right, you, Zach, focus on this thing. You, Adrian, focus on this. Jeff, focus on that. Jeff wasn't there, but whatever. But telling people you do this.
Other random
you
person
work
we were
on
playing
this.
with.
Yes.
So,
And I don't necessarily on the one hand, I kind of feel that almost in this game, you almost need that because there's so much.
That's what I was going to say is that every time I've introduced people to this game, we get wrecked by just the intro thing. But once people start figuring out the game and they can get the intro one fine. But once you go to the regular, it's there's so many things you have to do. You sort of need to not even micromanage, just have people do
You have to prioritize.
You have to prioritize and be if you focus on this allows other people to go do,
It's this needs to be completed or we lose, and then this, and then this, and then this will help us win, but we might not have enough die left.
Yeah. Which unfortunately does lead room for somebody to kind of then you might be sitting there and be well, somebody's telling me what to do with my dice.
And the times I've played, it's more of a cooperative conversation about it, and most people agree oh yeah, that's definitely as long as you have reasons for it and not just fucking do it.
But I mean,
because I
that
said
happens
so.
in so many pandemic. Oh, we should do this and this and this and this and this.
And I usually agree with those people because they're probably right.
Correct.
It's also,
but it can leave some people feeling like they're not getting to actually make their own decisions in the game.
Well,
which
they're wrong.
Is unfortunate.
But I mean, you add a little bit of the randomness from the dice because if you're just I'm not getting any of these things that we need to do, so someone else needs to come in and step. And because it's real time, I feel like people should be okay with doing that just because of the time constraint of just we have to focus on this. If you just,
I don't know. I feel bad anytime I'm in a game where I end up telling somebody who's newer to the game, be all right, you need to focus on just this one part of the game. I'm going to do this other part of the game.
Well, in my respect, I will always be the more immediate ones. Every time we do, be okay, I'm going to focus on this. Other people start doing these other things.
And it's usually based on what colors you roll.
Yes.
There's some ways you can't make someone focus on anything because I rolled 7 oranges.
Yeah.
I can't do anything. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, continuing gameplay.
You could almost call this game busy because there is a lot of different stuff on there, but you kind of need that conversation to focus on what you really need to do because there are an extreme amount of options you can do, and if you split up, you get 0 done.
Yeah. Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was sort of saying is that because there's so many things you need to accomplish at once that if everyone, because when we've done it where it's everyone is just trying to roll in dice, oh, well, we could try and do this and this and this. And so you spend 20, 30 seconds talking, which if people sort of had what they wanted to, supposed to do before that, they have a much greater chance of actually succeeding.
And a lot of time the quarterbacking just comes out of all right, if anyone rolls whites or oranges, let us know and we'll use those first.
Yes.
Because this one needs to get completed first.
Yeah.
Yeah. That can also lead to some interesting situations where we get into some miscommunication where you're trying to during that time phase, you're all right, does anybody have this or this? And somebody's yep, I got both of them and puts them down. And it's no, I needed to do one of those.
And once you put die down.
Yeah, once you put die down, you can't take them off.
done.
Yep.
So there's a lot of times where it'd be one of the cards you need to complete, everybody has to put a die. So it's before anyone starts, it's don't put the last year, make sure to save 1 die. And so it can be because that happened to me one of the times we were playing a Geekway where it's just I did this and this. And then it's all right, no, go put your die there. And I'm oh, I don't have any more dice. So
we all did things like that at the Geekway game. There are multiple times there's oh, wait, shit. I done messed up, Paul.
Yeah.
Just like Fuse, it's fast and frantic. Even though they break up the timed pieces in 1 minute, it still feels tense. Constantly throughout. In some ways, it's even more because you have less time.
Yeah.
To do things. and you're rolling a bunch of dice and trying to place all of them.
Yep.
Versus like rolling 5 dice and picking one of them.
Well, and it's almost like near the end of that minute, it's almost like Happy Salmon, where you're just like, I have a yellow. Like you're just because wasting dice
Somewhere
in that
needs-
game hurts.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's really like you can tell that's where like better play is being more efficient with your dice.
Yeah, because you're just like, I have yellow. Is there anywhere I can put the yellow? And then so it's like, I got an orange, and you're just like,
Throw it somewhere.
yeah.
Oh God.
Right on. So I think that pretty much wraps up gameplay.
Yeah, more. I think so.
Don't delay in this game.
No, yeah.
Don't wait for that spinner to get
Yes.
back around because you might lose before then.
Yeah, I do like that the round token, the round tracker, the amount of cards you call it varies depending on depending on how many people are playing and if you want to do hardcore. Because I've looked at some of those hardcore ones and it's like, fuck that. It's like 5 or 6 cards every time. And you're like, no, this is horrible.
God.
Yeah, but it's nice. They could be like, okay, this one is going to be the easier one. We're only getting 3 cards, so then we can focus more on
Something else.
Or it's like this one, we're getting 6 cards. We have to pretty much deal with these.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, those traumatic events
Yep.
will ruin your day.
yeah, and then there's also two spots on the board that allow you to add more time, basically, by getting another one of those round cubes back onto the track by doing one of all the different, or a certain amount of dice and stuff like
6 different.
Yeah,
ones.
if you're playing with 5 people, yeah. So it's good that they have those options too, where it's not just the time, but so you want to time those as well, because you're like, okay, this will have us be at the lowest amount of cards that we have to deal with, so we should be doing those round things now so we can catch up on other stuff.
Right.
Also, all these cards have funny names that I never really noticed.
Oh, really?
There's one that's like bathroom break.
Is that the emergency cards or the tree? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The
Flat,
emergency.
whatever the card is called.
Right on.
Yeah.
So opinions on the game.
I like it a lot.
Okay. Do you want to expound on that?
I like it.
Is good.
Okay. So for me, I like Flatline. I think that as excited as I was for more game to add to Fuse, I think that it kind of reached a point where like I'd almost just rather play like 2 10-minute games of Fuse and then be done rather than like a 45-minute game of Flatline. Like I like Flatline just fine. I don't really have any major complaints with it. It just doesn't change enough about the frantic dice placement. I'd rather just play the 10-minute game of Fuse.
What if the bombs
myself.
were on trains?
I don't think that would change.
And you're
anything
buying
for me.
stocks on the bombs.
Sure.
Maybe if you have to merge bombs in some fashion.
God, I hate you guys. Jeff, what do you think about Flatline?
Flatline's fantastic. I enjoy the co-op portion and the problem solving that you have to do in between rounds on top of the frantic dice placement of the dexterity part of it. And then you kind of go back and forth between the two as things get more and more dire as the game goes on. I would like to play this game a lot more and try and actually get good at it and try and do some of those crazy difficult ones. Because I think the difficulty options in both of these games are impressive.
Yes, definitely. No, yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah. I will say that I have never not enjoyed either one of them. There's never been, for Fuse or Flatline, I've never once been like, oh, God, this game is stupid. Why am I playing it? Like, I like playing both of them. I've had fun playing both of them. Even Flatline, with its longer playing time, doesn't run long.
No, I would agree with that, yeah.
There's enough, especially with the, like, frantic little, like, 1 minute chunks. Like, the game feels like it's moving along well all the time.
Yeah.
Zach, Jeff, you guys love Flatline. Think it's a fantastic game. I think it's a pretty good game. I'm not sure how I'd put it up against Fuse, but we'll see. If you are interested in Flatline, it is also currently available. It is a little bit more expensive, as would be a
bigger
game
game,
with
a lot more
components and more game to it. It is running anywhere from about $30 to $35 online.
It's a good deal.
Not too shabby. So yeah, they're both available. You can pick either one of them up. Do you guys feel that is there room in a collection for both?
Yes.
Yes.
I have both, so yes.
I think probably yes. Not every collection. Like I don't think I would ever own Flatline. I would own Fuse. So I don't think every collection needs both. It's definitely going to vary a little bit based on the gamer, but they are different enough. I can see like why you would have both, Zach. I could see why like Jeff someday you might have both.
They're quick, easy. I don't have any problems with any parts of the game. Frantic, thrilling. These games are.
Yeah.
We also didn't mention the app for Flatline either.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically just another minute timer.
Yeah, and it has also like now you talk strategy, now you can deal with the consequences and stuff, but it always felt like it was just like, okay, pass,
Yeah.
All right, continue.
long
Okay,
as
now
you
we're
know
at the timer.
Yeah.
All right, now we go.
It's a nice rules round teacher.
Yeah.
Did we use that at Geekway?
No, because it wasn't out by then.
No.
That's why I
'Cause it
didn't
was
know
the day
about
one.
this.
Yep.
I was like, that doesn't sound familiar at all.
Yeah. The timer is, once again, very nice because it is only a minute and you got to watch that timer.
Yes, you do.
Correct. So, all right. I think that about wraps up our review of Fuse and Flatline, a Fuse Aftershock game.
Part of the Fusiverse.
Yes.
The Fusiverse. We are all three relatively positive on the Fusiverse. I think we end up definitely on the, I don't know. I was going to try and come up with some witty, vague rating thing where, you guys both love both of them and I really like one of them and like the other. And, so we're on some vague rating scale. It's not really
So
our
we're
style.
4s out of 5s, and you're I'm 3 out of 5 and a 2 out of 5?
No, I'm
A
definitely.
4 and a 3, maybe?
I feel like you guys are 4s. If you guys are both 4s, then I
On
feel
both.
Then I feel like I'm probably a 3.5 and a 3.
Okay.
3 1/4, 3.5. I don't know.
So you like them just as much as each other.
I like Fuse more
Okay.
than Flatline.
I'm still
but
waiting
not
for
by
it to be
much.
witty.
Well, no, I've already admitted that was gone.
Okay.
That was gone.
No,
I couldn't come up with anything.
That's been crushed long
Yeah.
ago.
Dead and gone.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so that wraps up our reviews. If you was there any feedback really, Zach, on BGG?
No.
Probably would have helped if people
Somebody,
would subscribe to the guild so they'd know when you posted something, right? So maybe listeners, you should go to Board Game Geek and jump on our guild number 2731, and then you'll see when Zach posts about Fuse
And you can be on our
And other things too.
and other things.
and you can be on our timeless reviews.
Timeless.
Yep.
Truly,
Not
truly
dating this at
timeless.
all.
Yeah. You can also have a couple more days to enter our giveaway for Gloomhaven.
And we have destroyed the timelessness of this review.
Yes, we have. But there are still a couple days. This will be the last episode that we talk about the giveaway, aside from actually giving the giveaway away.
Checks out.
Sure. If you would like to enter, you can jump onto BGG. There's a thread up for Gloomhaven giveaway or something like that.
Very literal.
Yep. Tell us how you heard about the show, and that'll get you one entry. You can tweet us at Mile High Game Guys. Who is your favorite host on the show? That will earn you one entry.
That is a popularity contest.
Yep.
Which I am being crushed in.
Definitely. We already have explained, though, in a previous episode that it's definitely the Zach and Jeff versus Adrian contest, I feel
true.
like. And Jeff just isn't the forerunner of the anti-Adrian brigade.
No.
That's true.
So
I mean, I'm definitely a follower.
the final way you can get an entry is through emailing us.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com with the title Gloomhaven Giveaway.
Correct. And what are they going to put in that email, Jeff?
Fun fact, interesting story, something interesting for us to talk about. Funny story. There has been already many on there. Bruce Campbell was met.
Yes.
I was excited about reading about that one.
Yeah. You can listen to basically any of our last 3 episodes to hear examples.
There may be many more, depending on how many more entries we get here at the finish line.
Potentially.
Yes.
Aside from entering contests, you can always get a hold of us. Like I said, you can tweet me at MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
And I'm Jeff_MHGG.
We have the aforementioned BGG Guild number 2731. We are also on Facebook and Instagram at Mile High Game Guys. Be sure to check out all the other awesome content over at punchboardmedia.com. We got other great podcasts on that network, some good video creators, and some awesome written reviews.
Which is my favorite part.
Yeah. You can go over there, and the cool thing, we all tag what we talk about in our episodes, written whatevers. So you can search if you're interested in a particular game, say Gloomhaven. You can go over there and you could search Gloomhaven, and you could see all of the content that everybody has done about Gloomhaven, whether it's written, audio, or video. It's pretty cool.
Indeed.
They're doing a good job with that website.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should get one of those.
It is coming soon, thanks to the support of our awesome patrons over at patreon.com. If you would like to be a patron and support the show, jump over to patreon.com/milehighgameguys. Check out the various support tiers and see what you would get in return for financially supporting the show. And in addition, what we would be able to do with your support. So it would be greatly appreciated. Go check that out.
Every dollar counts.
Most definitely does. Anything else from you guys?
No.
How much can we rip more into Adrian before this is over?
All right, well, the episode is done. As always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I'm trying to think. How could we annoy Adrian?
Is it by stretching out this end of an episode as far as possible?
100% is. You've succeeded in your goal.
Still sounds like something that I would do as Zach.
Is it my time?
Yeah.
It is. Because he said it's something I would still do as Zach.
Okay. And I'm Nurse Jeff.
And we have over-explained the hell out of all of this. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Loud Engine Noises podcast. Hey, everyone.
Punchboard Media, where we all
bring something
to the table.
Pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.